Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, editor's recommendation. I'm Lee Shui Ken. What books will we bring you next week? Tomorrow, which is Monday, is April Fool's Day. On this day, we'll bring you a super interesting and edgy book called The Severed Head, A History of Decapitation. This isn't some cheap pulp fiction. Its author, Larson, is a genuine anthropology PhD and the curator of the Pitt Rivers Museum at Oxford University. This museum is fascinating. It's hailed as a paradise for lovers of the bizarre. The exhibits are incredibly diverse, including 300 human skulls. Spending all day with these skulls, Larson's interest gradually extended to the stories behind each head. In this book, he not only covers the history of decapitation, but also explores how Western cultures have focused on, worshipped, and studied heads. Besides, the severed head, on April Fool's Day, we've specially prepared a fascinating list of quirky books for you. Just click the link in the transcript below this audio, and you'll go straight to the book list page. You won't be disappointed. Also, attentive listeners may have noticed that our podcast channel page has been revamped. From the VIP page, click the Sally's Book Talk tag to access our channel page. In addition to this April Fool's Day book list, we also offer popular book talks, along with special topics and other rich bonus content. In the special topics section below the VIP page, you can also find our book talk content. Having discussed April Fool's Day, let's move on to this week's topic. I have a few friends who trade stocks, and they've become active again recently because after the new year, there's been a small bull market in the business world. You don't have to trade stocks, but you should know a bit about stocks and investing. What books can help you get started? And for stock investors, how to stay calm in the face of a small spring rally. Is dominating the stock market just a dream? On Tuesday, we'll first listen to the book, How to Make Money in Stocks. Its author, William O'Neill, is one of Wall Street's most successful investors. He's traded stocks for over 50 years, experienced major bear and bull markets, yet still stands tall. His investment secrets consist of 7 key principles: how to pick big winning stocks, what's the best time to buy. In 1988, O'Neill published this book, How to Make Money in Stocks, detailing his investment rules. Over the past 30 years, many ordinary readers have achieved significant gains under the guidance of this book, even changing their entire lives. But please remember, stock trading isn't recommended for everyone. This wasn't said by me, but by a famous speculator of the 20th century. André Costolani was German and known as the Warren Buffett of Europe. He was born in 1906 and died in 1999. His speculative career was closely tied to the world markets of the 20th century. It's important to note that here, speculation is a neutral term. According to André's definition, trading stocks, futures, forex bonds, or collectibles like antiques, art, and real estate, all these can be considered speculation. In his view, a successful speculator must meet 4 conditions, one of which is not borrowing money. Because once you borrow money to speculate, your ability to withstand risks decreases and the trade becomes fragile. Once you master these 4 conditions, you also need to understand the big trends. So how do you do that specifically? On Wednesday, we'll listen to André's work. Great speculator, if you trade stocks or invest, you might find that just knowing how to read reports and understand technicals isn't enough. Many traders have had this experience. We're very bullish on a stock and have been tracking it for days. All signs indicate that the stock price is about to surge, likely today. So early in the morning, we remind ourselves to be ready to jump in at any moment. But unfortunately, something just happens to make us leave the computer or turn off our phone. By the time we return, the stock has already hit the limit up, and the cooked duck has flown away right under our eyes. Encountering this kind of thing feels worse than losing money. You might think I'm just unlucky, but such situations might not be related to luck. The root lies in a psychological factor that causes us to miss money-making opportunities. So on Thursday, the book we'll listen to is called Trading Psychology Analysis. Its author, Mark Douglas, is hailed as one of the few qualified trading psychology coaches on Wall Street. In this book, he details how to develop a winner's mindset. And his ideas not only help you stay calm in investing, but also inspire you in other aspects of life. After discussing the secrets of stock trading, next week's shift is also wrapped up. During the short holiday, we'll hear two stories of money revelry on Wall Street. Friday's book is a documentary work called Thief Tide. The period from 1980 to 1990 was the golden decade for American finance. Back then, the stock market kept rising and the economy was thriving, but this also fostered the largest financial crime in U.S. history. A group of Wall Street insiders leaked trading information to each other in advance, leaving a massive insider trading network and made a fortune from it. After the network collapsed, one of the main culprits alone paid a personal fine of 1.3 billion US dollars, equivalent to 9 billion Chinese yuan. The impact of this network was immense. It directly led to new U.S. securities regulations and gradually triggered the 1987 U.S. stock market crash and the 1989 Japanese stock market crash. This book revolves around four central figures, focusing on their insider trading activities and the entire process of their downfall. Human greed and the desire for money pulled them step by step into crime. Thief Tide has remained popular for 20 years since its publication and is considered a classic in the financial crime genre. It was even named one of the 20 most influential business books by Forbes magazine. How is this largest insider trading network in U.S. financial history woven? Was justice served? On Friday, let's dive into Thief Tide together. You may have heard of Saturday's book. It's called The Big Short. Its film adaptation of the same name was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. The story in this book is based on real events. Its author, Michael Lewis, is a famous American financial writer, particularly skilled at exposing Wall Street secrets. In this book, Lewis writes about several big short sellers on Wall Street who predicted the crash of the U.S. housing market. Thus, through clever methods, they shorted the U.S. mortgage-backed securities market. In the end, when the U.S. was hit by the subprime mortgage crisis, they made huge profits. However, author Lewis did not point the finger of blame at them. In Lewis's view, the real culprits of the subprime crisis were the greed and irresponsibility of all participants in the housing market. This includes both bankers and ordinary people. Their greed was amplified by financial leverage, thus creating an unprecedented housing bubble. And the big short sellers were merely betting against greedy human nature. And when the subprime crisis broke out, Wall Street elites, even if their institutions went bankrupt, still received astronomical incomes. The only ones truly punished were ordinary citizens. All right, that wraps up this episode's editor's recommendation. Once again, a reminder, investing carries risks, so approach the market with caution. We'll see you next week.